Hey guys, so when I bought my CRZ, the driver's side mirror was broken. It was cracked. The mirror works fine, like the glass part's fine, and the blinker on the side still works, but the case was cracked, so I was just gonna replace the whole thing. And I just wanted to talk about how to do that. Um, so the bolts that you need to take the mirror off is right here. There is this black plastic trim that sits right there, and you just pry that off. Um, there's just a little clip right there. You just pry that off, and then that'll give you access to all the bolts over here. But these bottom three are hidden underneath the door trim, which is why my door trim is off. And to do that, you have to also take off the trim on this side, which looks like this. So you take that off, and you have to be careful not to break this little black clip right here. And what a lot of people do is just try to slowly unclip it from the top or from the bottom and then just pull straight out. So that's pretty important. And then you have to take the door panel off. And to do that, there's a lot of videos on YouTube on how to remove the CRZ door panel. And basically what you do is you have to, there's a little, in the door handle, there's a little plastic part in there that looks like this. And you undo this tab and then you pry this off, and then there's two screws in there that look like this. And then you take those screws off. And then you pry off the Windows switch module. And then underneath, to pry this off, there's a little rubber pad under here. You pry that away, and then there's a little screw. You remove the screw, and then you can pry this whole part out, and then you just unclip it from this clip. This clip has a little tab here. You press down to do that. And then after you do that, there's another screw underneath that. So you take that off. And then after you take that off, you can just basically pry off the whole door panel. If you did it like how I did, you may end up leaving some of the door clips behind. If you do that, you have to take them off and then reattach them to the door before putting it back on. So I'll have to do that later. But after all that, let's take out these bolts. I believe these are 10 millimeter. So yeah, these are 10 millimeter. And just unbolt it from here. And then after you unbolt all that, I'll do all that off camera. But after you unbolt all that, you want to be careful not to unbolt them completely because the mirror will just fall off. So have them kind of loose. And then you also want to undo this clip. And to undo the clip, there's a little button right here, a little tab. You just press that, and then you can pull up on this, and there's your plug. Now, from what I've heard, there's two different types of plugs for the CRZ mirror. I'm already kind of getting concerned because the plug on this mirror and plug on this mirror look different. So yeah, the one on my mirror is this blue plug, and then the other version of the plug is this white plug. I'm not quite sure what the differences of the two are, but there are two different types of plugs for this. So when you're buying replacement mirrors, make sure you get the one with the correct plug. In my case, I'm gonna see if I can just swap over the outer shell of it, because obviously I can't plug this in. And what this is basically for is for if you have the heated mirror, it's for that, and also for the blinker, I believe. So I'm not sure what trim this one is off of, but mine's a base model, so maybe that's why the mirror is different. But yeah, that's something I'll have to do all off camera. But hopefully, if you were working on this like I was, this quick little video gave you a little bit more of an insight on how to do this. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. Hey guys, so I'm back with the mirrors. I've been taking apart the mirrors. I took my mirror off, and like I mentioned, mine is from a base model, CRZ 2011, and you can see the mirror here. There's no heating element in it, there's no wires coming through it, and this is the window, the mirror adjustment motor here. So basically what I have to do is I have to take this mirror and this motor and replace it with that shell. This shell looks like it's from EX or EX with navigation, like upper trim with the heated mirrors. And you can see when you take the mirror off, and also to pop these mirrors off, you just take a screwdriver in there and like carefully like just pop it off, and that's just how you take these off. And once you do that, you can see there's a little wire going through there, like a plug going through there, and you can see little heating elements in there. So this is the heated mirror, and you'll also know that it's the heated mirror because it will have the white plug with, let's see, one, two, three, four, five, six, 7 pins, and that's how you know this is for an upper trim. Whereas my base model, since it only needs to control the window adjustment, under the mirror adjustment, it has this 5-pin blue plug. So when you're buying the mirrors, be careful of that. If you have a base model, you should have a blue plug. If you have an upper trim, you should have a white plug. If you mess it up like me, you're gonna have to take apart the mirrors and replace it that way. But in case anyone was wondering how to take apart these mirrors, like I mentioned, also before I said you have to take off five nuts over here. You only have to take off 3. So it's that one, this it's this one and this one and that one, and that's all. This and this are for something else. But anyway, you take those 3 nuts off and take the mirror off. You take a screwdriver, carefully pry at the mirror until this pops off. And then there's this is the cover at the bottom of the mirror. There's 2 little slots here. You just stick a screwdriver or a trim removal tool or something in there and pop this off. And you'll see 3 Torx screws. I already took one off. So you want to take that off. So you take these screws off, which is pretty simple. And this is basically going to separate the actual wing mirror, the side view mirror, from the mounting bracket over here. And the mounting bracket itself does also have a few parts to it. So I want to keep that in mind. You can do this, you don't have to do this in this order, but after you remove this, this part will come off. But to make it a little bit easier, you want to remove this little rubber grommet here. It'll just literally just come off if you just pull at it. Be careful though, because it does protect the electrical connections. So you just take that weather stripping off. You can take tape off if you want to. And then just kind of, there's a little clip here holding the wire harness on. Just unclip that, and that just gives you a little bit more room to work with later. But yeah, you take those off. And I believe this should be just a plug. It looks like just like it's just a plug. So if you have the heated mirror, you can just unplug it like that. And then this bottom piece should just come right off like that. And once that is off, excuse me for the beeping, you will expose another Torx screw there. Take that out, and then there's also a Phillips screw here. You also take that out as well. Once you take those bottom screws off, there's the reason you have to pop this mirror off is because you have to get to these screws over here. There's a bunch of Phillips screws here, and basically take off this one, that one, and this one. These 2 go to the actual motor, so I don't think you have to take those off. But yeah, just remove those Phillips screws. So once you take all those Phillips screws out, you want to carefully pry at this outer trim right here. right there. You just want to carefully pry it off, and then it should just pop off. Make sure if you're trying to save it or replace it with, you want to be careful not to damage this one. So there we go, and then that part will come off, and this is one piece. And then to remove the actual window adjustment motor, it does look like there's another Phillips screw underneath there. If you can see that underneath right there. So let's try removing that and see if it pops off. It does look like that is the piece holding it on. Let me investigate further. Yeah, so it was just that one screw. I just had to kind of carefully lift it up. And then there's a plug here at the case because there is the blinker in there. So remove that. And then oh, that's a pickle. I'll have to route the wire somehow through. Let me see. Okay, so you can't actually pull the wire through because of the plug. All the holes are too small. But it does look like this mirror case does actually split in half. There are little tabs at the bottom here. You can see like a little tab right there. Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. There's more tabs under. You can't really see it, but you can see all the little black tabs right there. You just slowly pry at those, and you can separate the painted white half and then the unpainted black half. So I got the two halves apart, and basically all I needed was this part and that part. There's a lot of work to get to those parts, and the rest of this is just extras. You can't, as far as I can see, you can't undo these because you have to cut the plug off. I may be able to take this apart further and take the wires out of this side, but I'm not sure. If someone wants to try that, go ahead and try. I've already spent way too much time on this, so I'm just going to replace the case and call it a day. So that was a really long video, but hopefully this kind of gives you more of an insight on how to take this apart and how to fix it if you need to fix it. That was actually pretty interesting that there was two different plugs. I think the eBay listing actually mentioned something about the plugs, but I forgot about it. So that's on me. But yeah. Now for reassembly. But if you guys found this helpful, I'll have other CRZ content on my channel. So look out for that. And hopefully it'll be better made than this. But see you guys next time.